Hello, this is Uncle Jim. Today I was going to shoot a different type of Willie's bullets, Willie Bullet Man, and was hopefully going to shoot it today before the live chat, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen now because there's some issues that I got to figure out. So, previous video was shooting the HG truncated cone 200 grain, the white ones there. So I was going to try these next that I got from Willie, and I'm not sure what mold those are from. It's a slick side, round flat kind of bullet. And ran into ogive issues. And also volume issues because of the ogive issues. So I've been using nickel brass for bling. And I always use the Winchester large pistol primers for both Magnum and regular because it's easier for all your powders. Just load accordingly. So here's the deal. It's a slick side and it's ogivey all the way to the end here. So I made a dummy round. And you can see the ring from the cedar. You can also see where I had to pound it out of the barrel. Doing some plunk testing. And you'll also see there's a black ring there where it's hitting the lands on a dirty barrel. Okay, so this has to go way low, J-Lo, and I mean, you gotta seat that down to Chinatown. So here's one that's approved. And it's a whopping, man, it's a whopping 1.201. Now, part of that, it's got a flat nose versus ball. So all we're thinking about here is volume. All right. And it's a heavier bullet. So I was hoping to use the same charge I used on this, figuring I could have it seated out more, even though it's a heavier bullet. That was a lighter suppressor load. Looks like I'm gonna have to lower the powder charge for pressure and volume. So I'll have to figure that out, maybe do a garage pop and check and see, you know, how it shoots. So you're always going to run into this stuff, especially with cast bullets. You can't just go by any bullet and just go by similar load data. You got to look at it. You got to check your volume and see what's going on. In this case, I had to seat it way lower than I thought. Now, there's similar factory bullets that have the same volume after this, after being seated so low. But I'm going with what I know and the powders I like and all that stuff. I'm using Winchester 231. And I'm going to have to bring that down powder charge wise. I was hoping to just, my Dillon's always full of that powder and I just throw it on the Dillon and, you know, throw them in the shells there. But I'm going to have to change the charge. All right, so the other thing is, okay, slick side bullets. They're great for powder coating. There's no grooves there. Some say, oh, and they're more accurate because there's more lead riding the bore. No, I disagree. That's just my opinion, but I think that's a myth. Because if you look at these two bullets here, this is the HG, and this is the Lee 200 grain truncated cone, a copy of the HG, and they're tack drivers. And they have, you can see, they have hardly any lead riding the bore. Hardly any. The top band, hardly any. And the bottom, hardly any. And even more, this is a bevel base on the Lee, which I don't normally like, but it's a tack driver. It's my favorite bullet, so especially for a cheap mold. So as far as lead riding, no, that's myth busted too. I mean, you have and I've said this before, you have Keith bullets that have big gaps in the lead. It's not slick-sided. There's all kinds of designs we can talk about. It's more the design of the bullet than it is how much lead's right in the bore. It's just saving you. Powder coating, it drops. When you're casting, it drops out a little easier. Did I say powder coating? Yeah, powder coating might be easier too. Not really. So there's that. All right, so I guess let's go over to the press. And for those that don't know what a modern Dillon cedar looks like, I'll show you how easy those are. And we'll go from there. Okay, so I know it's kind of weird having Dillon dies on a Lee turret because Dillon dies are more expensive. But a lot of times my Dillon is being used up on different calibers. So it's easier for me to use the turret to do some quick loads here. So on the seating die, the newer set on the Dillons just have this clip here, and you just pull the clip out and your cedar comes out. And this is for guys that don't know. And then you have this little pin in here that'll fall right out. Oops. And then your cedar comes out. And it'll have ball on one side and a flat point on the other, truncated cone. And I guess you can get different kinds. This one is leaving a slight ring on Willie's bullets because it's a little fatter here. And that's easily solved with the carbide round self-centering bit. And you just turn that edge and that will get rid of the ring. I'm really not going to mess with it because it's the only bullet that's been doing that. So you pick your side and put it back in there and just line it up with the, it's kind of loose in there, and you just line it up with the pin. See how it's tapered? And so is that. And then the pin can get you started because it has a point. And then it just goes right back like that. I really do like that. However, I don't like, if you're using it on other presses, I don't like these clips because they're in the way when you're trying to adjust. You know, they're just kind of in your fingers. You know, it's always something. All right, so there's that. I'll figure out a charge and load these up. And oh, another thing was talked about. I know AR was talking about putting Dillon rings or Dillon nuts. What do you call them? On the turret to save space. You can see there's a Lee there, and then RCBS is even bigger. Same with Lyman. And then the Dillons have a smaller. Actually, these are standard I have on here. So my son made me a wrench that does both RCBS and this. And you notice how it's skinny at the end and it's low profile. And it fits right in there. You can get to everything. I don't like the new, see here's a Lee. All right, and then the other side would be the wider RCBS nuts. Why can't I think of the word right now? And then the new Lees, I got this from Tin Man, which is really nice, but I still hate the new Lees. They're just hard on the fingers, and I just prefer a standard size. So it's easy with everything, unless you're going RCBS. So there's that. You might be able to find, this is a huge one, but you might be able to find these wrenches. Okay, super easy, but this one's a little big. It does work on the press, but it's a little big. But it locks and stays right wherever you are. That's just so convenient. You can find yourself some of these that are small profile. Very nice. I always keep those on the bench on the hook. And so, yeah, we have to... The other thing I like about the Dillon one is decapping pin comes out really easy. Just, but these are annoying. So there's that, in case anyone never had one of these. I do like the quick change, but I don't like this. Could do something about that, but it's fine. Just get it out of the way when you're turning. All right. Anyway, all of us have to adapt, especially with cast bullets that aren't in your manuals. So you're going by your weight, your volume, the type of bullet. How's it going to measure if it's got a flat point versus a ball? It's all about your interior volume and not creating pressure, and your bullet weight, and comparing it with stuff you already know, which you'll gather over the years. And it's pretty easy. So, you know, you can measure your volume by using the stem of your calipers and all that. You really don't need to. I just use my thumbnail, actually, and just hold it there and compensate there. This one actually has a little ring on there where he gives you a reference to where your powder is or your bullet is seated. You can also tell by the bulge on your bullet where that bullet is. So if I'm comparing that one to this one that's way low, J-Lo, because of the ogive, I get a pretty good idea. You probably can't see it on camera, but I can see where those bullets are. So it's similar. However, this is a heavier bullet, so I got to back off my charge for pressure. And, you know, I wish these bullet mold manufacturers would concentrate more on ogive than anything else, but sometimes they don't. A lot of times they don't. There's 300 blackout bullets and 308 that you gotta, you know, worry about, and it can be a cluster. So anyway, I'll see you tonight. I finally got the Uncle Jim 2 set up for a live chat. So it'll be on Uncle Jim 2 now. And I don't have emails, but I'll just be posting links throughout the night if you want to come on. So hopefully if I'm awake, I'll see you there. All right, let's do a garage door pop. What the hell? So my Dillon is set up for 9mm. So I'm using a 9mm sacrificial shell. Let's do, I'm going to start off, you know, slow Joe. So let's do, well, let's do 5 grains. All right, see what happens. Volume-wise, it's similar. I'll just back it off a hair. All right. Let's pour that in here. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, let's try a 1.205. Just a hair, hairiest of hair longer. Okay. She's a plunker. All right, garage door pop time. All right. Got a fresh swinger out there, so I'm going to go with the target board peeking through the snow that's out there a lot further. And just want to check the brass. Okay. Hit it, and we'll bring it in and check the brass. All right, so the brass looks fine. Primer. So I was going to lower the charge even lower than that to start with, but, you know, better safe than sorry. Looks like I had nothing to worry about, so maybe we'll go with that one. And I'll do a shooting vid with these bullets right here in the future. But I'm running out of time tonight, so. All right, thanks for watching. Until next time.